Hi guys, so I decided that I wanted to make a longer video about my journey with bipolar and basically how I went from start to now. And I would say, even though now is of course not the finish, it was more like a recovery journey, or like going from the beginning when I was struggling with everything and not knowing what to do to now where I can better cope with it. And I just wanted to share that story. So um a lot of what has helped me is coming to terms with the disorder and becoming accepting of myself, not being afraid to share my experience with other people and feel more comfortable talking about it. I feel like being more accepting of yourself helps you get proper treatment and being able to move forward. So I think this started even as early as third grade. I remember the day that I got super nervous, and I think that's when the real like anxiety started. I was at this event at school and there were prizes for this game thing, and like we had a bunch of tickets and kind of just like turned them in for the prize, and I couldn't decide what I wanted, and my mom was kind of like rushing me. She wanted to get home and I just didn't really know what to do, so I ended up getting nothing. And like that day I went home and I was in the bathroom and I just was like feeling really bad about it. It wasn't a big deal, but it just felt like terrible. I don't remember why exactly, but I remember it feeling really bad. And my dad knew something was wrong and he came in and was like, "What's going on?" And I told him like about the story with my mom, and he didn't know what was going on. And um after that, there were a lot of other instances where I just like couldn't decide things, didn't couldn't make decisions, and felt bad about stuff, worried about everything. And especially at this time, these intrusive thoughts came. I kept thinking about things that could go wrong, embarrassing things that happened, situations that I had with other people that were embarrassing, or just different things that did not bring good feelings to me at the time. And that's, I think, when it started. That happened like third through fifth grade. It got a little better towards the end of elementary school though, but yeah, those 3 years were pretty okay. And then came middle school, and sixth grade was when like the bipolar part of me just like emerged and was like, "Here I am, you're gonna suffer for the next 3 years." And in sixth grade, a lot of things happened. I was sent to the principal's office for multiple things. I was randomly touching people's backs. I don't really remember why, but I thought it was like fun or something. And like finally this person that I didn't know got uncomfortable. They told the people in the office about it, and I got called in like, "Are you doing this?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And they're like, "Why are you doing this?" And I'm like, "I don't know." That was one thing. Another was when I decorated a guy's locker for no other reason but because I really liked him. And you're only supposed to do that if it's their birthday. It wasn't his birthday. I just did, and I got in trouble for that too. He ended up not seeing it because his friend took it down before school started, so I think that's good in the long run because it did not. I don't think that would have went down well. And then the biggest thing though is I got suspended for 2 days because I stole $200 from a teacher's desk, and that was a huge part of mania. Like during class, I would just sit at the teacher's desk and I was looking through her drawers and I just found this in the back of her drawer and I was like, oh, it's money, like it's valuable, I'm just gonna take it. And then I ended up giving this money out to people after. So it was very obvious that I was the one who did that when the teacher was wondering who did, and she probably asked around a little bit and they were all like, oh yeah, Cynthia's been passing out money recently, and it's like, yeah. So of course I got caught for that, and yeah, I got in big trouble. But during that year I also had like different bouts of depression. And it didn't help that I didn't really have a lot of friends. Honestly, I don't really know if I ever considered any one of those people in middle school a real friend. Um, so I felt alone most of the time. I hated lunchtime because I would just sit there and try not to feel alone. I was sitting with other people, but they would all talk with each other and it was just, it felt so lonely. And sometimes didn't have enough room on the table that we were sitting at, so me and this other girl that felt bad for me would sit somewhere else. And um, I was not good at talking either. I was very introverted and quiet, and I did not know how to carry conversation very well. So I was 6th grade. In 7th and 8th grade, I don't remember any big events. I did get in trouble again for plagiarizing. Like, I didn't even try that hard to hide it. I just like completely copy paste and detention. That's one big thing. Like, I forgot I even had that assignment and I just did that. But there were a lot of times that I was manic. I remember this other time I was just, there was this guy that was doing something with his pencil in his notebook, and his pencil, like, he was sticking his pencil into the little hole in his notebook, you know, and like the way he was looking at it, and then his pencil just broke and he was just like, and I just thought that was the most funny thing ever, and I started laughing and I couldn't stop. So the teacher came over and was like, are you okay? And I just kept laughing. And then she ended up telling somebody about it, and I was seeing the social worker at the school at the time, and she mentioned it, and I was like, is that like a huge, I don't know if that was a big problem or not, but I didn't consider it to be that big of a deal. There was that, and there were other times that I didn't do work properly. Like, my notebook was just me scribbling really messily, and I once like had, you know, we were learning algebra, I was drawing a parabola, and I just scribbled it over and over again, and it started ripping the page, so I just ripped like the little parabola thing out. It was a big mess. There were different times like that where I did not so normal things because I was manic, and there were also other things with depression, me not being able to do stuff. It sometimes took me forever to do homework because I couldn't focus. Often when I had a depression, I had more thoughts than usual. Usually that's a sign of mania, like having racing thoughts, but these thoughts would keep me awake at night, and it was when I was depressed. So I kept thinking about things that happened, being embarrassed, feeling bad about different things that I did. Was that, and when I was manic, I just like, those thoughts just got faster, and I didn't think about those stuff, but I was thinking about other things that were exciting, had like things that I thought were great ideas. And in 8th grade was a lot of the same. I remember this one test, I legit got a 21% F on a math test because I was just like messing around on the test. Like, I thought I was doing stuff right, but I was so manic I didn't know what I was doing. So those were some big things in middle school. And when I went to high school, it calmed down a lot. I don't actually remember being manic once in my freshman year. It was pretty lonely, to be honest, and I had a really big crush on a guy. Turned out to be gay, but that's all I remember from freshman year, really liking that guy, and my whole year being about talking to him. we were talking and somehow it always started an argument, and he just stayed around and was helping me out. And then he said that his friends thought that he should block me, and he didn't. And I was like, it's okay if you do. He ended up blocking me by the next morning. So I was freshman year, no serious stuff. Yeah. Then sophomore year was when I really found my first group of friends. I think that in general it helped me get more used to the social situation, but looking back, they were not the best people to be friends with. A lot of hurtful drama came out of it. It was not a great time. We had like some good fun times for like, I don't know, half a year, and then it just started getting super drama involved, and just was not such a good time. And I stayed with them for a while. I started dating one of them. I don't know if I was super into that relationship. I don't know if I consider it a real relationship, but after we broke up, I ended up getting cyberbullied by him and his friends for a long time, and that did not help my mental health. My grades suffered, and well, yeah, that was not a great time. But by senior year, I was doing a lot better. I found friends, better friends, and we had a good time together, and I did things with them that were fun. We had hangouts. We went to Wisconsin Dells for senior ditch day, and I felt more included. Definitely came a long way since middle school and not knowing how to be with people. So yes, and I feel like almost that entire year I was a little bit hypomanic. Like, I just had a lot of energy all the time, and it didn't really become a problem. It was like pretty, I don't know, it was fine. So starting in 6th grade, I started taking meds. I didn't really figure out a good like combination all throughout middle school, and it wasn't until maybe middle of high school that I started like finding things that were kind of working. I was still switching around a lot, but I had also seen a therapist for a while. I didn't always do that. My therapist retired, and I didn't really find anyone else that I liked. So even now, I'm not talking to anybody about it. I kind of just, like, I have some buddies that have bipolar disorder, and we talk sometimes about that, and I don't know, it's just easier to talk to people that really understand what I'm going through, in my opinion. So after high school, when I graduated, my doctor took me off meds, and he was like, yeah, I don't think you need it anymore. You're taking really small dose. And he took me off, and I went to college, university, without any meds and without a psychiatrist or psychologist, and things got super messed up. I'm not going to go that into it. I think I'm going to do that in a different video, but I ended up getting super manic at school, and like also super depressed at different times. Like, my mood swings were all over the place. I have really interesting stories about that time, crazy manic stuff, and this was the worst, I feel like, in my entire experience with bipolar. Like, it was just me having insane amounts of energy and not being able to calm down or have anyone that knew what I was going through help me through it. And it wasn't until like a few months later that I finally went home and tried to figure that stuff out, and that led to like months of depression. And I did have a couple of relapses in the next few years, but they definitely weren't as bad. But 2 summers ago, I went to this outpatient therapy thing. It was like for 3 hours every weekday, and they taught CBT skills and models, basically trying to help you cope with stuff, with your own thoughts and behaviors. It was helpful, I think. I don't really think about it that much anymore, but going to that definitely helped with like keeping a schedule and just having something to do at the time. And it was there that I finally changed my medicine to Latuda, which helped a lot more. I think this is the best medicine for me and the best one I've taken so far, and it's really helped. I haven't had any big issues since then. I'm planning to go to school again. Well, I've been in school, but it's been community college. I'm going away to university hopefully next fall, and we'll see how that goes. I'm kind of excited for that. I want to like meet new people there, and I'm kind of just bored staying around here because a lot of my friends are away, and I just, yeah, I need a change. But that's honestly where I've come and what's been happening throughout those entire years. And yeah, I might go into like more specific stuff later, but it definitely had a lot of ups and downs, and I'm hoping that I can stay relatively stable these next few years while I finish school and try to get a job. But that's where I've come, and I will see you guys in the next video.